3, 2. You Sammy, or you want me to use?
I'll mute me.
Well, how did all this junk get on here? Where's all this crap? Hey, I want to be crap and sucker free.
We got two.
I'm on the wrong phone. 2 seconds.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Ooh.
You said it like.
Yeah, that's good. 2 minutes is good.
Also, I'm dropping off that box of stuff to Dorothy today.
Oh, I know why I didn't bring that other stuff because we not.
I ordered us a lockbox.
Oh,
The key on the boat.
beautiful.
But he said, my homie was like, did you ask the cleaners? Because he said when we was in there, wasn't no towel down there wet or no money sitting there.
The cleaners had left by the time you left.
No, I'm talking about did somebody come back? Because they was the only people, because I'm like, who would have knew? The only people that knew that key was still in that spot was me and the cleaning people.
That's why you should have moved it. Let me tell you something.
But then in the cooler too, I thought, people gonna open that cooler first. But that's why I got the lockbox. So we put a code on it. And
we need the kind of lockbox that we can change the code.
yeah, it's one of those.
1 minute.
Oh, fresh hair come through. Yes, Jarrell. Hey, has anybody heard from that guy who's got that dating app? That is a really
Somebody
nice.
said yesterday, and I forgot to say, she said, Tamara, I downloaded. Oh, that was Tina. She downloaded the dating app.
Really?
That wasn't who you
45
said.
seconds. 45 seconds.
I want this moved all the way back.
Where your camera? Come on, get this intro ready.
30 seconds.
Who day?
Wait.
What's your name?
Wait. So check this out. Are we talking about Trump again?
We didn't talk yesterday.
Yeah, 20.
Oh, we did.
Well, we did actually.
Yes, we sure did a lot.
We sure did.
All right, y'all. We got 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
I'm done talking about him.
5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. No matter how gloomy and rainy it is outside, all you have to do is look up at the sun. And I'm not talking about the S-U-N. I'm talking about the S-O-N, because he is the keeper of my soul. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It is a terrific Tuesday because I'm posted with the no nonsense, the no irritating.
So whenever you hear him add to the beginning of my intro, understand he's done something that has made me react. And so this is his way of letting you know that he's irritated with me. But it's your girl, Tamara Fair, on the air. And I am super happy about today because today is Tuesday and it is Tell Me Something Good. And usually when I leave on Tuesday, someone has told me something great, not just good.
Definitely. Well, you know what? It's a great day. I want to say something I thought about on the way here. And on social media, sometimes we always see the glamorous life of people, right? And most people don't share the unglamorous, the non-glamorous parts of their lives. But we all go through something. And you know what?
We were way more non-glamorous than we are glamorous.
And I'm like, I got the post. And people thank us, Valencia and I, for sharing our testimonies and our stories. But I want people to believe, just because you saw me 4 days straight at events and having a good time, it's the nights like yesterday that we don't always share. But, you know, MJ was in the hospital from the time we left the radio yesterday to 2 a.m. this morning.
What?
And it was just, you know, I couldn't sleep. I got Maddox. Maddox had a doctor's appointment. I had to take him. She at the hospital with MJ. So we had to divide and conquer. And I'm like, you know what? I am tired this morning. And she said, you should be. I'm tired too. And I said, Valencia, you're a warrior. I said, but I'm going to share with the world that some nights it's not all glamour.
No.
It's hospital beds and
you all have gone through it, though. You had a baby come to the world and stayed 64 days in a hospital.
You know that number, don't you?
64 days. We held it down for 64 days, y'all. But, you know, for a good cause, and that's what a team is. You fill in the gaps when the gaps need to be filled. But then you had another unexpected baby. Like you didn't, and they being the medical team, actually advised you to abort the baby. And here is little Maddox. Nothing's wrong with him. He is bubbly and vivacious, full of life.
Full of it.
And so that is encouragement to other people who have medical opinions that are devastating, because that would have been devastating.
Yeah.
That's something you never forget. I know, because I lost a baby before, and it's something you get over it, but you never forget it.
Yeah, just imagine if we would have just listened to those doctors. I wouldn't have.
Because they always think, you think, lay people think that the pharmacist, the doctor, and I think that's where, not the police anymore.
No, we
but
don't.
The pharmacist and the doctor, we don't ever check. We don't verify what
we
they
just
say.
Trust them.
And you can stick a needle in me and tell me, okay, this is
Pump
a
me
magic.
full of COVID vaccines and everything.
Yep, that ain't gonna happen.
But you know what, believers, no matter how dark it may seem, because a lady told me, I shared this testimony wherever we go. We were out at the new TNT rooftop on the west side, which that's gonna be our business spotlight. And I met a lady, and they were telling her about me, and then I told her the story. And she just looked so baffled. And I said, what's wrong? She said, I don't know what to do. Cry, smile, get up and praise God. She said, but you just smiling like ain't nothing wrong. And I said, well, that's the joy of the Lord. And it is my strength. And I thank God for his joy and his completeness. Because listen, some days I'm like, if it was somebody else, they would have been taken out by now.
I mean, clean out, flat out, like washboard. No, not the washboard. What's in the corners?
Yeah, well,
that's that board out.
Well, when
but you
I
know
teach
who gives me encouragement with situations like that? Inglewood Tanya. Now, as crazy as she is,
she's not that crazy.
She's crazier than that.
She's
crazier than that. You just don't know. As crazy as she is as much as she loves the Lord. And I don't care if it's death or adversarial situations, or even like people have died in front of West Austin. And you know what her response is? I'm just going to keep trusting God.
I'm going to keep trusting God. Well, listen, if God gave you a glimpse of what you had to go through to get to the blessing, most of us would politely decline.
Yeah, I don't need that blessing.
You keep it, bro. I love you, God, but keep that. I don't want to go through that.
It'll be all right.
It'll be all right.
We'll be all right.
But you know what? The storms come to make us stronger. The tree roots go deeper during the storm. So you know what, believers, no matter what you're going through, we're praying that your roots grow deeper in God. We got a great show for you today. This community chatter right here on the Brunch Bunch. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share right here on Inspiration 1390. So, damn, I said we got to figure out another outro because I had a dream our show finna get syndicated, so we ain't gonna be able to just say 1390 no more, right? You know,
1390 is all over.
No, we're gonna be on more than just 1390. We're gonna be on every gospel station in the country.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready. Can somebody come back here and pull my hair down in the back?
Or do you just want to get?
Yes, Miss Arnetta said we had to go through to get through. Bless
Don't
us.
nobody
One dude up in the move.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Now y'all will need me one day. So anyway, guys, thank you, nephew. You get away from me. Ain't no good gonna come to you till you do right by my hair. Anyway, guys, exclusive this day. I'm going to build this up for you, okay? Have you ever had conversations with people that don't have any children, don't have a business, but want to tell you how to run your life with your kids and how to run your business? Now, how do you respond to that? Because they may have value because they've been on the receiving or the consumer end of a business. They may have value because they see what you're doing wrong or maybe could do right with your kids. Or do you say, until you get you some kids and some business, stay out of mine? How do you handle that?
And now to the panel. I'm talking in the mic like we're on there. That's how Shirley be doing when we be off there. When somebody telling me something I don't think is good advice, I just politely listen to them.
In the row, 2 minutes.
That's it. I don't really say, like, who are
but
you?
What is going on in your head? Because I'm not talking about what you're saying. Because now a lot of times we quell.
GT. Get the heck on.
That ain't the acronym.
Because some people give you unsolicited advice. And it's, you want to know something? I should have said something. When I first started on this show, you know how many people told me to stop? In the beginning. I don't know if I ever told you this. And one of them happened to be my mother.
She told you to stop?
She told me I need to let this go. remember the financial burden, and I came in hard, like I'm gonna be partner, I'm gonna do this. And then it was like, wait, month after month, I didn't have no sponsors. I was paying it myself, and then I was pulling from other places. And my mother was like, "You just need to let the radio go." She said, it's too much." And I'm like, "The Lord gave me
1 minute in a
this."
row.
And 7 years later,
Set completion. It's almost 8 now. In October it'll be 8. Could you play a commercial? I gotta find this thing.
my response is, "That's interesting. Thanks for sharing," with a raised eyebrow. You heard Sabrina?
Yeah, that's. Wait, I gotta get this. I don't know why I'm sitting up here talking to you.
Can't multitask.
Find that story where they adopted the kids. Here it is.
It ain't
And
in the
using
locker.
them as slaves.
That story from yesterday.
That's not it.
Oh, he said
Somebody
it.
sent it to me.
No, I had it yesterday. That was my What's Going On. My What in the Caucasian.
Oh, let me have it.
I don't have it now. Well, Jarrell got it because he printed it. Print the story from yesterday.
You can tell me the way they adopted the 5 kids.
Yep, I had them
Using the
slave.
slaves. Oh, I didn't know you even knew about that.
Of course.
Attention entrepreneurs.
I got my eye on crazy white folks.
You got it?
Jarrell gonna look from yesterday.
Okay, hurry up. See, Tanya sent me that a while back, and I just
It's
didn't
off
get
the. It's off the.
Thank you.
Thanks. Teamwork make the dream work.
Yes, it does. Come on, team.
We gonna wait for a couple
Yes. It'll be a second.
Well,
Well, you know, we can go in here. We can come on in and I'm talk about Joy. But
All
her
right, come
name
on, do it.
is Bella.
we're in the raw with Tamara Fair on the Brunch Bunch.
You know, one of our missions is not just to report the news that's going on around the world. It's also to report the news that we as the Brunch Bunch make right here on Inspiration 1390. So we have a praise report and I'm super excited about it. So a lot of times we'll go out into the communities and not just in Chicago, but around the nation and sometimes around the world. And, you know, iHeart airs around the world and we'll meet people who are dynamic in their own right. And I met a young lady at a conference. I remember I went to the conference in DC that Apostle Verl was.
A breath of fresh air conference or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it was the scent of the scent of a godly woman. And I met a young lady. Her name is Lisa Bellamy, and she works at Yale and Harvard. She does a lot of mentoring people.
Yeah.
A lot of mentoring people in the workplace. She's also a gospel artist. So when she allowed me to actually gifted me to hear her song, we started playing it here on Inspiration 1390. Well, guess what? From our airplays, because we were very consistent about it, she has now won an iHeart Award. And I am super excited to be a part of that. So we asked you guys, the name of the song is Joy. And we asked you guys to download it. And believers, you are the best in the business. You're best in the blessing business. You're the best in the loyalty business. And you're the best in the get something done, change something that needs change in business. But this doesn't need any changing. But thanks to you, believers, this young lady is on her way.
Yes.
Well,
you know what? That's how the good Lord works.
That's
In
exactly
my Sunday service choir voice.
That's exactly how the good Lord works. Well, you know what? She sent me some pictures. We're going to post them on our social media. She and her husband are on her social media, and they are doing their thing because now it's about to get real. So
Tell
guess
her when
what?
she get that Grammy, bring us on stage.
Well, I don't think that's a problem. She's a godly woman. I mean,
Yeah.
like literally all through her bones, you can see she oozes, she
You
talks, she
can
walks.
smell that she's a godly
She's a
woman.
godly
The
woman.
scent of a godly
That's
woman.
right. Well, let me tell you, we got to change directions right now.
I think Adam like that more than anybody else because he loves when you do that.
Well, you got to give the people a transition. So thank you, Adam. Now, when you talk about great things, this is the antithesis of great. So we talked about it a little bit yesterday, where a white West Virginia couple accused of adopting Black children are forcing them to work as slaves. I didn't want to gloss over it. It was something that we definitely need to talk about, because you need to be on the lookout for it. You know, we're not living in a time where neighbors are watching out for neighbors. We're not in each other's business like we used to be. But I'm telling you now,
Bring back nosy neighbors.
bring back nosy neighbors.
Except when you live next door to me.
Well, Miss Juanita, come on. You need to get back on your porch. So a West Virginia couple are charged with human trafficking, child neglect, forced labor, and more after prosecutors allege that they adopted 5 Black children from a shelter to do forced labor and live in deplorable conditions. So Jeannie Whitefeather, wonder why her name is that, she's 62 years old, and Donald Lance, he's 63, are accused of adopting children ages 6 through 16 from a shelter for homeless and vulnerable youth, targeting them for forced labor specifically because of their race, according to the 16-count indictment. Well, it alleges that human trafficking, human rights violations, and the use of forced labor, Kanawha County Circuit Judge Mary Claire Akers said of the indictment, according to West Virginia Metro News. Well, human rights violations specific to the fact that these children are targeted because of their race, and they are used basically as slaves from what the indictment alleges. Now, in my mind, that's a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
And a hate crime, as many of you know, carries a different sentencing and a different jail time, right?
Yep.
So Whitefeather and Lance are being held at South Central Regional Jail in Kanawha County on $500,000 bail, according to the jail records, and they both pleaded not guilty this month. Well, Whitefeather's attorney did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Lance, who according to court officials is representing himself, could not be reached for comment. Well, Kanawha County Sheriff's deputy said that they found the children in October during a welfare check at the couple's home in Sissonville, and they said that they had to force their way into a barn on the property, where they found 2 children in a very small room, and the children had no means to exit the barn on their own, no running water, no bathroom facilities, and were obviously deprived of adequate hygienic care and food, the sheriff's department said in a statement at the time. Well, it said that they found a small child locked inside of the main house as well, all alone. The 2 children in the barn, ages 14 and 16, said that they had been locked inside for about 12 hours when they were found and were forced to sleep on the bare concrete floor. Now, even slaves had cots, pallets. That's where pallets came from. According to this indictment, though, these children were forced to sleep on a concrete floor. A court document said that children were dirty, had a strong body odor. That's no surprise.
Yeah.
And that, because first of all, children smell like little billy goats all by themselves, even if they're taking baths, no matter what, which is why we created perfume for kids, right?
Oh.
They also had open...
Something's really wrong with you.
Oh, really? Well, now, according to this, I'm good.
Yes, you are definitely good.
These Lance and Whitefeather, something really wrong with them. Well, anyway, the neighbors also reported that children were forced to perform farm labor and were not permitted inside the residence, West Virginia Metro News reported, citing the filings. Well, here you have neighbors who see this but don't say anything. I wonder if they're complicit or could be considered complicit. Not that they had anything to do with it. I'm not insinuating that.
Well, if you see something, you should say something.
But are you?
But
complicit?
all of us are not mandated reporters, right? So you
Correct.
could be. I would say, if you know, I don't know, it's kind of hard.
It's kind of slippery slope.
Yeah, it's kind of a slippery slope, because sometimes we think something is going on and it's not really going on, and now we're putting those parents under a microscope when they didn't need it.
But is it better to err on the side of caution and to have people intervene and not need it, or to not err on the side of caution and have this situation, because it's brewing and it's bad?
Yeah, that's why I say it's kind of slippery.
Well, I agree with you. But during the hearing, according to the Associated Press, Whitefeather's attorney, Mark Plants, said that there was a key inside the shed where the teens were found, and that there was a key in plain sight and simple understanding of what was going on, so meaning that they could get out. And so Lance arrived home hours later and with the 11-year-old boy, and led the deputies to a 6-year-old girl who was staying with friends, according to the couple. Well, the couple are accused of abusing the children initially on their 80-acre ranch in Washington State and then in West Virginia, where they moved after learning they were being investigated. The couple first posted their combined $400,000 bail, but the judge ruled this month that the bail was too low and raised it $100,000. Well, prosecutors said that they believe the couple paid the initial bond through monies that were made from human trafficking of their Washington and West Virginia homes that they have since sold. We believe that the family lived in two residences while they were committing crimes, turned the residences into properties and contraband, and Kanawha County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Christopher told all of this to NBC News. And we said, Judge, we want you to hold them until the money runs out. Like literally, if you don't pay taxes, if you don't pay wages, this is how America was built on slavery, and how so many companies have gotten so far ahead. Because just think about it. Take your own taxes. You don't even have to be an entrepreneur. Look at your W-2, not your W-2, but look at your check stub. See how much you pay in taxes, and then add that annually.
Your W-2 tell you annually. So you're right. You said look at your W-2. All you got to do when you get that W-2 is see how much was taken out for that whole year, and you know how much taxes you pay.
Exactly, because irrespective of what your employer offers you, you have to deduct that salary because that's not your take-home pay. Just imagine if that were your take-home pay.
But this story made me think of an old song the Saints used to sing. Hell is a hot place. Ain't no water there. So these people are on their way straight to hell for what they did to these kids.
Well, you say that, but the country is swinging and swaying toward this whole situation being re-emerged, because this whole divide that we have in America between the zealots, the white supremacists, and the liberals, I mean, literally, this is brewing and it's getting worse.
Well, that's why I said hell is a hot place. I didn't say jail, because that means the country. I'm talking about the creator of the heavens and the earth. So no matter what happens in this country, they have to see God. And that's when true. They see God, when he say, I'm rejecting you, you know, not well done, that good and faithful servant, you going straight to hell because you abused these 3 black kids. Now, on the country, 5. I was taking notes. Stanley Lane said, I told my good friend Larry Roberts this. We should open the jail. We were talking about jail, and I'm like, we should buy a jail and open the jail. This was years ago when he was on. It just brought it back to my memory. But I like to open the jail for racists, specifically for racists. And I want the jail to be like wraparound services, though, to help them understand not to be racist anymore.
I think that's a great idea, because a lot of times people are racist because they either grew up in a hate-filled environment and they don't really know why they hate the target that they hate.
Yeah.
Because it has been asked, why do you hate me? And there was no response.
We're going to take them through 400 plus years of what they did to black people while they in jail. So slavery, civil rights, not getting access to stuff. Then we're going to get them therapy and trauma and tell them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
When you didn't have no boots or straps on them.
Well, you know, it's sad, but that, you know, we're living in this country where we've always had white supremacy and races, right? We just have access to media a lot better now to hear these stories.
But because we've always had doesn't mean we always have to have.
Yeah.
And there can be a change agent, and that change agent starts within you.
Yeah.
You know, well, as we go across the country and even across the world, and we're selling our book series, and you know, Modi is very pigmented, and the doll is very pigmented, and you can see some white people shine away from it. But I say to them, do you know how many white dolls I had when I was a child? And I loved those dolls. You can love a black doll just like you can love a black person. Our heart beats the same way yours does, and it stops the same way yours does. Stop it. Just stop it. When you see yourself or you hear that voice telling you premeditatedly that I don't like this person because of whatever it is physically, just stop it.
We will get them, and I'm like Dr. King. We're gonna get to the mountaintop. I may not get there with you.
I'm gonna get there with you.
I don't know.
Because I'm gonna force you to get there. I'm gonna put your skates on you.
We living where these races are rampant now. It's like Jesus. This I don't know. You know what's worse? In the 60s, 50s, 60s, 40s, 30s, they knew, you know, they were separated. They knew all these people hated them. But now we're living in an integrated world where you're in rooms with people that act like they love you, but they're secretly hating you.
All you got to do is get on the elevator and listen. They'll talk
Mm.
about you clean on the elevator.
Sometimes they ain't talking.
What they doing?
Stabbing you in the back. Listen. Well, you know what, believers? We are not stabbing you in the back. We're praying for these kids because that's
Yes.
traumatizing. And, you know, we talk about these things, and we're not too far removed from the civil rights movement, from slavery. We're just a couple of generations,
Clips.
and these kids had to go through what our ancestors went through, being slaves to a white couple in what county? Because we need to find this county and this land and make sure they lose their land. Maybe we should go buy the land, Tammy.
Give it back to the kids.
Wanakwa County in West Virginia.
Oh,
Now,
no,
you
I
know,
can't even spell it, so I don't want to go out there. But listen, we're
I'm sorry,
going
Kanawha.
Oh, okay.
Kanawha. I don't know where I got Wanakwa, but Kanawha. It's a street in Dalton named Kanawha. But yeah, so, but I just think that there is a complicit, because the adoption agency should have vetted them a lot better.
Well, you know what, though? Here's the thing, too. The system sometimes is overrun and overcrowded, right? And I grew up, and that's why I said it's a slippery slope. I grew up on a block where it seemed like everybody back in the day had foster kids. I don't know when the shift where people I don't see many foster parents. There's some great ones, but I grew up with something. Sometimes we thought that the foster parent was doing the kid wrong because they weren't doing what my parents were doing for us. But sometimes it was just they didn't have the resources or means to do for these kids. And so for me to be like, I'm calling on these people and now causing more issues. But if you see like slave labor in the field or kids walking with no shoes or holes in it, then that's when you start calling. But just you think something is going on.
Everybody need to be investigated. All that sound fine and good. Everybody need to be investigated. The neighbors need to be investigated. They saw them kids with Jamaican feet, the kind I came home with. No.
Thank God you don't have Jamaican feet anymore.
I had to get my feet done every single. The reason I say that is because Jamaicans have like literally a plethora of skills. They climb up those trees. Their feet show what their skill sets are. My feet were like that. You see that they didn't have any shoes on. You saw that they weren't coming into the house. You saw they were dirty, smelly. Come on now. You are your neighbor's keeper.
That's when you call. But that's why I said in certain situations, because it can get slippery. And we know that the system is not for Black parents. Because if a doctor called right now I know a little young lady fighting for her son because she didn't want him to get a vaccination or something. No, she was feeding him some healthy fruits and vegetables when he was, a toddler. And they snatched him. Like, took him out the home immediately, abused. And then when you look, that's happening across the country over and over. So you know what? We're going to keep praying. We're going to keep this train moving. Because up next is Community Chatter. And we are so happy to have our friend back in the studio with us. If you want to know who that is, you got to stay tuned right here on Inspiration 1390.
Well, hello there, fabulous
Hello,
lady.
Twyler.
Give me these. Oh, these are beautiful.
You like flip-flops?
Yes, honey.
Will they cover your Jamaican feet?
My Jamaican feet are gone now.
Gone now.
They're gone now. I had to get them done every single
And you
week.
say Jamaican feet, but you know what? It's African feet.
Well, I ain't been to
Yeah.
Africa. So
I know. That's why I'm like.
so all I know is Jamaican feet.
Reverend Stacy.
Well, right.
Oh, really?
Well, in that regard, too, wait a minute.
Their women's retreat, and
But it
she
made
had a
me
baby.
think because
She
I
she
just
made
got
them.
honored
Though.
by Ghanaian King, right? And they dressed
Yeah.
us in this royal garb and they gave us sandals. And when I put them sandals on, I said, now I know why these people's feet be hurting bad. They was real flat. It was wood. They was back there making them too, like while we were there. And the thing that go between your toes, oh my God! I'm like, now I see why they.
Tina, you are so right.
Because I'm like, if I move too fast,
you gonna lose it.
I'm gonna lose a toe or something.
That's exactly. Tina Hammond is going crazy on social media. She said, you see what she said?
Yes.
She is absolutely right.
She was going, yeah.
She's absolutely right, though. We need to get that agency closed down, or at least look and investigate it, because who's to say that's just who got caught? Who's to say you weren't doing that all along?
But most of these foster agencies, the social workers got so many kids that they don't really have time to pop in like they should be, which is unfortunate.
But that didn't even sound that you saying it's like child slavery, but that sounds like straight up human trafficking.
abuse,
That sounds
Well,
like it was almost
They
sugarcoated
were
with child slavery.
Yeah, that's what slavery is.
Human trafficking is a different situation.
It's a
No.
new name for an old.
It's just
that's
a new name.
for an old.
But when you
Situation.
trafficking them state to state, that's a different situation, man. That ain't. I'm just forcing them to do labor.
But he wasn't. They wasn't
Well,
going
they
state
landed
to
on
state.
Plymouth
They
Rock
was
and
just
they went everywhere.
one county on this farm giving free
I'm
labor.
saying that you investigate, man. They probably out.
They probably doing
West
more.
Virginia
They
to
probably doing
Washington.
more than that.
They probably got stations. And
Well, you're
everything,
right. They
man.
said they had 2 different residences,
Right. It
and
sound
those
like
2
straight up
different
trafficking.
residents. That's how they were able to.
But that's still slavery
their
too.
bail
'Cause
up.
watch it.
It's
They used to
slavery.
lease their slaves out to the next brother in another county. So that was human trafficking too. So it's all synonymous.
What I'm saying is though,
It's definitely all connected.
It made it sound like they was just getting like forced free labor or whatever. Like, but human trafficking is pretty much it's sex trafficking. Man. You getting these kids raped and molested. That's a different situation.
So that story didn't mention anything about sexual abuse.
It didn't say nothing about
yeah,
human
it sounded like
trafficking
it
at all. But it was just saying it looked like a human trafficking.
That's what they're
situation straight
charged
up.
with, human trafficking.
Yeah.
So that
that's
does
slavery.
It didn't even seem like
insinuate, it's an
slavery.
indicator that there is some sexual nuances in that whole situation.
Well,
It didn't seem like child labor.
but that's slavery too. That's what we saying. So
A
I'm
sex
just-
slave.
So it was,
child labor and sex labor is a different thing.
but this
But
story
when you
really
have-
focused on them doing free farm work. They
Right,
were
that's
treating
what
them
I'm
like
saying.
slaves.
And I think they using that to
But the
sugarcoat it.
same thing happened. That's why I
think
said
you're right.
they had to go through what our ancestors went through. So just think free labor, sleeping in deplorable conditions, not eating, having to do sex, being sexually assaulted. That's slavery, which is now human trafficking.
That's how HBCUs got formed, because no PWIs would actually enroll children of slaves, mulattoes, if you will. And so the HBCUs got formed so that those children could have a place to be educated. That's how Fisk was born. The rest of them have pretty similar stories. So it really is a snowball effect. Like, you have so many offshoots from that. So are you getting ready to have some mulattoes?
But the difference in this story and most human trafficking cases is human trafficking cases, they're being kidnapped, abducted, they're runaway kids, they find it on the road. These kids were foster children placed in this home to be taken care
Isn't
of.
that just illegal
Yeah,
kidnapping?
government
Right.
Exactly. That's why I said that the agency has to have some accountability for that. You put 5 kids in there. You didn't put 1. 1 is a accident. 2 is a mishap. 5.
Because they need places for them to
Why
go.
was they trying to
Somebody knew
Because I
something.
know somebody, we know somebody who got a lot of kids.
Yep.
A lot of kids,
Yeah.
foster kids.
Yeah, but she does right.
But
by
she
them.
does very good. More than 5.
You can't even get $5.
That's wild.
Oh
Yeah,
my
landlords
God.
aren't letting 5.
You got 10 seconds.
That would be true.
I got trouble from my
You
landlord.
can't get 5 dogs.
They drill you to go adopt a dog. It is not
They
easy.
sure do.
Yeah.
She's right about that. No, you know what? Darrell says things funny, but the truth is in the joke.
Wynona Redmond, and it's
He's
time
crazy.
for
I love
Community Chatter, brought to you by Wynona Communications.
Well, of course, today is my favorite day of the week. It is Community Chatter Tuesday, brought to you by Win-Win Communications, the queen of who's who in this country. Wynona Redmond brings us a new friend or brings an old friend back each and every Tuesday that has some great resources. Unfortunately, Wynona could not be in with us, but of course, she sent great representation. Our friend,
Miss Twyler Jenkins, and she is the founder and CEO of I Am That Woman movement. And I am so happy to announce that you've got some great things on the horizon. But a little bit about Twyler, in case you didn't remember her from last time she appeared on the Brunch Bunch. She's a strategic event solutions chief executive officer and chief strategist, and is one of the most sought after event planners in the city of Chicago. And with more than 30 years of experience in conference management, special event planning, and registration facilitation services, Ms. Jenkins is considered an expert in optimizing event profitability for her clients because of her cost management strategies. I want y'all to resonate on that and play it back, because for those of you who are having events, you want them to be profitable. Well, her skills in contract negotiation, budget oversight, event logistic coordination and execution, as well as program operations flow and efficiently make her clients money. And we are so excited to welcome her back to the Brunch Bunch.
Now, and if you don't remember her claim to fame, because she is so famous for this, she founded and launched the I Am That Woman Retreat and Protect Black Women. And you know what? I'm waiting on the I Am That Man. Protect Black
Y'all
women.
want everything.
Wait on it.
Well,
Hello.
welcome back, Twyler.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here to stand in for my sister as much as I can, fill those big shoes for Wynona Redmond. I appreciate the invite. It's always good to come back and be with good friends and good company to talk about health and wellness, which is something that we all need right now. So,
And mental health and wellness.
Mental health and wellness. We just came out of Men's Health Awareness Month, and I actually wrote an article in the Chicago Defender because some of you all know we just lost John Mitchell at Rainbow Push, who was the chief of staff there. And I've worked with Push for over 20 years. And, you know, as I reflected back on not just John, but a lot of other men that we've lost in our community before the age of 60, right? Yeah. And when I look at, and I was close to them, so I don't say this with any disregard for their life and their legacy and how they served our community. But a lot of times, and we do it now, we work long hours, we are stressed, we're not moving our bodies, we're not eating all that right. And years of that builds up to chronic conditions. Mm-hmm. And I believe that's why God has really put this divine mission into my spirit to do the I Am That Woman. I'm gonna come for them men. Yeah. But like I said, I just wrote an article for the Chicago Defender about Black men and their health and not being willing to go to the doctor on a regular basis. But women, I'm gonna start with us first. That's and then I'm gonna come for you all, because we are an integral part of also helping men to get to the doctor, right? So the I Am That Woman movement is all about helping African American women in leadership to live more holistically, mind, body, and spirit. And you may say, well, what does that mean? It means that for our mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, physical, and nutritional well-being, we provide information, resources, and events like the one coming up in a short 90 days.
Come on.
In St. Thomas about your health and wellness. So you can't do it on your own. And we are here to help you as a community. We are here to provide you with some things that you may not know, some things that can be transformational. For instance, some simple tips. When you look down at your plate, how colorful is your plate? How colorful is your food? Because if it's a lot of browns and whites, it's probably not nutrient dense. But if there's a lot of greens and yellows and reds and all of the things that may be in a salad or maybe in greens and sweet potatoes that's not filled with fat back and sugar, right? Then those are nutrient dense foods that are helping you to be more mindful about that also impacts your mental and emotional health. So those are the types of things that we do and the types of information that we want to get out and provide, not just for our sisters, but also for our men.
But that's so important. I never thought of monochromatic plates.
Yes.
Like literally, that's
I've heard it,
basic
but
and
you know
simple.
what? I never paid attention to it.
Yeah,
so
and I like that.
Because I said, as soon as you said that, I started imagining my plate, and I said, well, brown is a color, white. You said, if it's just brown and white, I'm like, I'm doomed.
Those are basics.
Yes, because it's probably bread and it's probably fried, right? Yep. And so, in just trying to do things that, again, that you practice. I always say Michael Jordan did not become Michael Jordan with the first free throw, right? Mm-hmm. So with anything else, we have to practice and continue living mindfully. So whether you're waking up because you're stressed all the time, do some meditation, do some deep breathing, do some prayer, just take some time for you, because we spend a lot of time, you all just talked about that very sad story with those children, but we were actually brought here to take care of everybody else.
Women.
Right? And so that's what we naturally and innately do best. We take care of everybody else and neglect ourselves.
You better come on.
Right? And so when you don't put your oxygen mask on first, then what ends up happening to you? Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
Right? And so we are here to help you to be mindful about those things that through practice becomes transformational for you to live a long life and not die prematurely because of
and
these
not live in
chronic
the death,
diseases.
because you
Yes.
can live in chronic pain, and
Yes.
it's a different kind of life.
It
It's
is.
almost
It
a different
is.
kind of death.
And you don't have to suffer with those pains again if you just learn how to live. We just launched a 6-day online free course that you can sign up for. You can go to our website, iamthatwomanmovement.org. And over the next 6 days, you will get a daily tip every day on something that you can do to practice, incorporate into your lifestyle that will transition and transform how you live every day. Because God did not send us here to suffer. As a matter of fact, he gave in the garden everything that we needed. If we would just eat out the garden, we would be all right.
That's right. Well, you have a garden of goodies that are coming up in this 5th retreat package, and it includes this 5-day luxury hotel accommodations in none other than St. Thomas Virgin Islands, a swag bag. You know, I love how swag in my bags are when I come from a good event, a welcome reception, daily breakfast and lunch, yoga, prayer, meditation, acclaimed speakers. Now, I know from the last time that your speakers are incredible, that you do not leave the same way you came.
No, you do not.
And it's very affordable and incrementally available for payment.
It's absolutely affordable because even the resort that we're going to in St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, it's a 5-star, 5-diamond, just went through a $250 million renovation.
Wow.
So it's absolutely amazing. And guess what? The price of our entire package, those things that you just named and so much more, it's almost all inclusive. We do give you time on your own. But guess what? If you were to go just to their website right now at that resort and try and book your room for our same days, it's the same price as our entire package for the retreat and your accommodations.
Wow.
So it is an absolutely affordable, and it's a priceless experience. It's really hard to put into words, but ladies, I'm telling you, if you are dealing with stress, anxiety, not taking care of yourself, and you need some sisterhood, you need to be poured into, you want to know what God has divinely set for you to do, you don't want to miss this year's 5th annual retreat.
Can you give us a sneak preview of who some of your speakers are going to be?
Absolutely. So our keynote speakers, actually, when I leave here, I got to go back to a meeting with the U.S. Department of Tourism, the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Tourism, because they are featuring our keynote speaker for that Thursday. And so I'm going to be finding out, and I'm going to have to come back and tell you all who the USVI is going to have for us. But we have some local speakers, Dr. Jean Porter King. Some of you all may know Dr. King. Dr. Jean, she's written a book. She is all about leading from the heart. She is about helping corporate women or women in the working world to know how to lead from the heart and also how to take care of yourself. So it's all about that holistic wellness, right? And leading from the heart. We have Chef Jamaica Pessoa, because nutrition is one of our main pillars. And so she's been on every show that you can imagine. And so Chef Jamaica is going to talk about spices and how do we make our food good without it being greasy and without just using seasoning salt. Okay, nothing against just cut out some of the what about some ginger? What about some turmeric? What about some, there's some other things out there that are very nutritional. And we have some other speakers like we've had in the past as well. Valerie Tyler, who's our fitness guru. Valerie's coming back to help us with our health and wellness. Tori Spelling is coming back because our nutrition impacts our face, our makeup, our skin tone. And so Tori is a local luxury line. Her store is where Nordstrom is and Northbridge. And so Tori's coming and joining us this year, and some other amazing speakers who's coming. And then our keynote speaker, I am still solidifying her, but I'm gonna let you know when I come back next time about who that keynote speaker is going to be. We have Dr. Portia Lockett, who's a chaplain from Detroit at Detroit Memorial. Dr. Lockett is coming back for our spiritual well-being. So we have a powerful lineup of women who are coming back to do some powerful things for us.
This is amazing.
It's too good to be true almost. Listen, so I just want to, so the people who's listening, like, I'm liking it. How many women do you expect? How many come and attend this conference?
Yes, so we are expecting 100. It's an intimate experience because we want to make sure that for even those, whether you're corporate, whether you're family, no matter what you are doing, if you are that woman, again, who just needs to put your oxygen mask on and come and get poured into, come and be in this intimate experience of about 100 women. Don't wait too late because we are going to sell out and you might be on the waiting list. So come on and sign up at IamThatWomanMovement.org. And it's only a $500 deposit. And then we have a payment plan. It's October 2nd through the 6th. So
Got enough time to plan, to budget it. I mean, this is great. Now I'm looking at this resort, and I want to be there right now.
Well, I want to be there right now too. But you can go in October.
Come on.
But I am that woman. You are that woman.
Come on.
You better talk about it. I am that woman that needs some rest.
Yes,
you know
that is what it's about.
About. But I was going to say, the reason I asked about how many women, because sometimes these conferences, you like, okay, 10,000 women, 5,000 women.
Yeah.
An intimate conference means you get intimate conversations and connections and networking and relationships. And you never know, you're going to leave this retreat rested, but you may leave with your next investor or business partner.
That has
or
happened.
New best friend.
That has happened. Let me tell you, I have women who have provided testimonies about some business relationships and connections that they were able to make and get multi-million-dollar deals for their businesses. So you are absolutely right.
I'm
sisterhood. I'm telling you, come on. The sisterhood and the women who are there, you never know who you're going to meet. And everybody, let me tell you, this is not a high society and titles. This is about a true sisterhood. How often do we really take that time to pour into, to love on each other, to support each other? So that has literally happened. And I had one of our board members, Glenda Gill, actually said, Twyler, I thought at this age and stage in my life, I had enough girlfriends, right? She said last year she really connected with some women who have now become long-term friends.
Wow.
And she's in LA, they're in Chicago. She just came in town. Some of the women from the retreat last year picked her up, hosted her. So it's still room for you to have new relationships, meet some new sisters, and get a new tribe. Sometimes we need a new tribe. And so come on to the retreat and meet some fabulous like-minded women.
I know a bunch of people who need to tribe hop right now.
Yeah,
I do too. No big eyes and little U's. Everybody's on the same playing field at this conference. And you know, when you go to rooms like this, what I love, people who take the time and money to invest in something like this, you like-minded individuals.
Yes,
absolutely.
And so you don't have to worry about people in the room that are not like-minded because they had the same mind to do what you did. So.
And don't worry about being in the room all day. We give you plenty of time. And not only are we going to St. Thomas, we're also spending a day in St. John.
Oh.
So you get 2 islands in this one trip. But we also give you time to go to the beach, go to the spa. It is a retreat. So you have plenty of time to just relax, renew, and restore.
And do you for a change instead of doing everyone else. Well, what I'm excited about is retreats like this, and particularly from people who really know how to put it together like you do, is the takeaway. And the takeaway will last you from one year to the next because you learn things that you thought you knew, just like you said in a different way about how monochromatic plates really are unhealthy, but you need to have that color infused in it. Those are little tidbits that are life-changing.
Yes.
And people that are life-changing. So I love Frenchman's Wreath because I took French for 8 years in high school and college. And then I went to Paris for a month and someone stole my clothes and I couldn't think of a lick of French.
Oh, wow.
I thought you were about to say somebody stole your French.
No, somebody stole my French with my clothes. No. I say that because when you go to places like this, if you are bilingual, you get an opportunity to really challenge your knowledge base in that second language.
It's true.
Well, I took 4 years of French, damn it.
I know.
Yeah. Bonjour. But
Bonjour, no doubt.
Come on to the islands and you just go ahead and use your island language.
yeah, don't get her started. But listen, women, go to IamThatWomanMovement.org. That is IamThatWomanMovement.org. If you need more information, you can email info@IamThatWomanMovement.org. But there are limited spaces available. Before you know it, October will be here. So if you're on the fence and you're saying, I think I want to do this, just pay your deposit, secure your spot, so you have time to pay it off.
Because July 31st is the early bird deadline. So come on, ladies, this month, go ahead and get that $500 deposit in so it locks you in before July 31st for our early bird discount. So it's only $3,500 single occupancy, $2,850 double occupancy. Grab a girlfriend. Come on. We have flights available from Chicago, first come, first serve, that are already locked into pricing. I believe those are like $720. So come on and go.
Round trip.
Well, let me tell you, this is a great deal because I was supposed to head back to Jamaica at the end of the month. I forgot to book my ticket. But when I went last night, I said, I don't know if we're going to Jamaica. But, going to paradise is not cheap.
It is not.
And so
That's why it's called paradise.
paradise. Well, that's why it's called a retreat. You got to retreat, but you got to invest in this. And
this is an investment.
Listen, an investment worthwhile. Tamara?
I can't wait. Like literally, much of the country is cold by October. And so we definitely know that the Virgin Islands is not going to be cold. And you've missed the whole hurricane season, so you can retreat in peace.
Retreat in peace with like-minded women for your mind, your body, and your spirit. Come on and get your purpose and do that deep dive into self-discovery, who God built you to be. Stop working in what you think you ought to be doing and come and find out what you know God is giving you to do.
I love it. Twyler, how can they follow the movement and follow you?
Come on social media. I Am That Woman Movement on Instagram. I Am That Woman MVMT a website, IamThatWomanMovement.org. And you can always follow Twyler Jenkins on social media as well.
So if you are that woman, or you are thinking about becoming that woman, or there's a burgeoning I am that woman inside of you, you definitely want to connect with some more that women's.
Okay, English.
Oh, don't play with me.
But you know what?
You don't want to go there.
You know what? Twyler is doing it for the women because they are that women, and I am that man to tell you that we are out of time. But we are never out of content. Shout out to Wynona Redmond of Win-Win Communications for this great community chatter. Yes. Believers, we encourage you to keep love alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Tamara Fair on the air. I love you.
I love you too.
You really love me. You couldn't even let me say it.
Well, because I saw all these people on social media and I was like loving them too. And that's
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem,
we
love you. Up next is AC Green. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
I guess Pastor Patterson said forget it today. Hey guys, listen. I know that we didn't get a chance to talk very exclusively about our exclusive online topic, but if you have experienced people who are not necessarily experienced in your struggle, like they don't have children or they don't have a business, but they always want to tell you what to do, I want you to pray on it before you speak to them and then see if whatever they say to you has some girth to it. If not, take what you need, spit the rest out. In the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow. And thank you for joining us today. For everyone on Instagram and Facebook, know that we love you. Peace and hair grease.
Thank you.